my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today we are going to be talking about the thread. This is the path, the vein, and the circuit. Life is a tangle. So much happens simultaneously and circuitously, leaving us grappling for meaning and direction in a network of distractions. When we connect to the energy of the thread, however, we strike the deepest vein in the body. Our whole being responds to its tug. Meaning is pumped through our bloodstream. Our mind and spirits are lifted. We remember who we are and what we came into this world to do. Though this happens on the most profound level, it could be the simplest incident that activates the thread. A song, an image, a conversation heard in passing. No matter how confusing and multi-layered our modern lives become, if we are connected to the thread, then we are free. Being tethered to it is the only anchor that our heart requires. You may think that you have to find the thread and pull it. But imagine, though, that it's already tied around you, waiting for you to follow it home. Oh, that's a very beautiful message. I especially love all of this darkness, because I think, what is the quote? It's like when you don't know where you are, or when you don't know where you're going, that's when the path appears. Let's go ahead and dive in deeper using my chakra oracle deck here. Just one, please, Spirit, for the thread. We have gratitude coming out. Okay, this is one of my favorite cards actually, and I love the story behind it. We have rejection on the back of the deck being highlighted, so you might be rejecting a situation in your life, or maybe even a lifestyle at this time. Now, with my gratitude card coming out, oh, this is very strong. So we have Lucy and her friend. I believe her name's Ren in this deck. But Ren is pregnant, and Lucy writes a message or a letter to Ren's unborn child, essentially detailing all the ways that she is grateful for her friend, and that how cool her friend is and interesting she is. All the little quirks and details that Lucy loves so much about her friend. And I actually really do love how this ties in with the thread here, because Lucy's dress and the thread are both the exact same color. And what I'm getting to with that is that Lucy provides Ren's child with this perspective, with this view that the child could never have without Lucy, because of their connection, their dynamic with their mother. You know, we will never be able to know our parents as a 20-year-old before they had children. We will never be able to actually understand what they were like in the flesh. But Lucy, just writing that letter, exists as the thread of who her friend is at this younger age, before the child is born, before any change takes place, before the path appears in front of her into motherhood. It's actually quite beautiful. I really love that card came up. It's one of my favorites. But I'm also just huge on gratitude in general. All right, let's go ahead and grab that was from a different reading. Let's grab an animal spirit card just to continue digging deeper into this message here. What is the message for the Thread Collective? Please, Spirit. No, I think that was right. I think this was what we needed, because I'm looking at all this red thread that caught my eye, the spider's web. I believe this is about life purpose, creativity, accessing Dharma, if I remember correctly, which I think dives back down into the goddess Lakshmi, although I could be incorrect with that. Let's go ahead and pull it up and dive deeper. I love pulling from the book for my animal spirit cards. I do have most of them memorized, but I just feel like the book does such a good job on taking us on a journey. And I feel like because the thread is all about a path, it's about, the way forward, and it's about connection, I feel like using the book will really help us get a deeper meaning here. Oh, this is an earth sign energy, so that's going to be Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus. I've had a lot of earth sign energy coming up in my readings lately, so I am getting the sense that the collective is starting to ground themselves, starting to plan. It's almost giving like type A energy, but we're starting to analyze and plan rather than like work impulsively. So yes, the spider is the creator of prosperity through life's work and Dharma. The spider is an ingenious creator. Its greatest gift is weaving the thread of Dharma into a vast, intricate web that supports the spider and those around it, both financially and spiritually. It is hard work, but the spider neither tires nor becomes impatient. This card reminds us that creativity is everywhere. Be process-oriented rather than results-oriented, and soon your work becomes like the weaving of a magical, priceless tapestry, and abundance follows. This is something that I find really interesting, because for me, I know that, I have a bunch of books on tarot. I can actually show you. I have like a million books on tarot, and they all have these like very type A like tarot spreads that, they walk you through the basics of what kind of spreads that you can do to help yourself, and every single book that I have really highlights them. I think even like the Animal Spirit Guide book has specific ones for it. Somewhere, yeah, even this one has it. We've got all these different spreads that I can utilize on a regular basis, but I have learned to just kind of let my intuition shine in that area, especially when I'm doing like in-person readings or I'm doing group readings. And that's typically where I find the most powerful messages exist, is when I allow my intuition to kind of take over and do whatever I would like with my spread and just feel my way through it, rather than trying to integrate or assimilate some kind of structure into my readings. Now, eventually, because I'm feeling my way through, a structure does eventually form, and I'm very grateful for that. But I feel like that's kind of where this thread energy kicks in. It's in that, especially with the spider, it's in reminding that yes, I do have a structure that's formed, but I don't have to stick with this structure forever. I can take it in any way I would like. I am by no means stuck to any kind of structure. I can turn it around, I can move it, I can flip it in any which way that I would like. And actually, I do have one that I would like. I would like to grab a theme card for this pile. Let's grab a theme for the thread, please, Spirit. What is the overall theme that we're looking at here? Oh, perfect. We have Spirit Guide. Yes. Okay, so you're being guided down a different path. Maybe one of creativity, one of life purpose with the spider here. And like, with Ren, with Lucy's friend here, that might not be her name, but that's okay. That's what we'll call her for now. With Ren, maybe motherhood is her life purpose. And part of Lucy's life purpose is to be, a caring, loving, like family friend of that child. Maybe it's for Lucy to be the godchild. For Lucy to be the godparent of that child. Maybe that's her purpose within Ren's life. And if not, then the letter that she has written has definitely served its purpose of providing that outlying perspective of the mother. It's actually quite beautiful when you think about it. How it just all ties in together. Let's go ahead and move forward. I want to get some information about your situation by looking into the situations deck. What is going on in my collective's journey? What's going on in their past, Spirit? Okay, we have children in reverse being highlighted. I have unconditional in reverse being highlighted. I have realization and running, avoiding. Okay, all right. This is kind of giving me the sense of the eternal child, if I'm being honest with you. It's almost like you're fearful to grow up. A little bit of, we have settlement, agreement, and compromise. It's kind of giving a little bit of like Peter Pan syndrome in this reading, where it's almost like you don't want to... You might be realizing that the things that you have been doing over and over again, that the structure that you've built for yourself it's not stable for what you want to move into. That might be, like getting married and having children, or this could even be a relationship. Like you're realizing that, the relationship that you're in or the relationships that you carry aren't suited for the type of lifestyle that you want. I think a good example of this is like if I want to quit smoking, right? And all of my friends are smokers, that kind of structure, going out and partying with them, isn't really suitable for, quitting smoking. It really does show that the structure, the foundation that I'm working off of isn't compatible with the path that I'm trying to go down. It gives me the sense, because I'm seeing someone like walk like 3 steps up a flight of stairs and then get punched down due to their own choices. And that might be what life feels like for you right now, is it's like, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. And every time that you get a step forward, you feel like you just might get punched back. Or like some some consequence or some unintended consequence might crop up and ruin your day. You have a very calming energy. I am picking up on a very interesting sense of, because I see racing, but the only other card in my deck, in my situations deck, that has a car in it is my triggers card. So I'm kind of picking up on that energy here, is where like you might be really easily triggered, or maybe you needed to be triggered to realize the fact that, you know, there is a lack of love here, and that you're being forced, maybe even you're being forced to be mature among a bunch of people who have Peter Pan syndrome, because Peter Pan isn't the only person, you know, who exists in Neverland. There are a bunch of other children there too. He's not the only one that didn't want to grow up, and that might be what you're realizing. Maybe you're recognizing this with a friend group or within family members. This could even be a work environment or with a partner. That there are a bunch of people here who are kind of, what's the word, enabling? Yeah, enabling some mismanaged, childish, immature behaviors here. Let's get one more before we move into the tarot. Yeah, I see your spirit guides are like moving you out of this situation though. Oh yeah, we have the mirror effect in reverse. I feel like you're so different. You're so different than them. Yeah, we have physical pain. You are so very different, and this might hurt. It might really hurt. Yeah, we have calm in reverse behind that. You might feel very triggered. That's what I was picking up on. Is like, maybe something hurt you and it triggered you into recognizing that, like, this is not, what is the quote? It's that you can't heal in the same environment that made you sick. It's that kind of energy where you're recognizing that your structure here, it's not suitable for you to grow, for you to expand. Like, your web is always going to be, your support web is always going to fail you because it's less of a hammock and more of a thread. Yeah. That can be really, really upsetting and hurtful. I can understand that completely. Now on the back of the deck, I have a message of peace in reverse with loss. So I feel like when you walk away from this group of people, if that's what you're choosing to do, and I feel as if it's not even like you're walking, I feel like you're running. Yeah, I feel like you're running away from these people. I'm hearing like you might go into hiding. That sounds weird, but I feel like when you run away from these people, you might find yourself able to expand past just this thread, because I'm seeing this thread here, right? And I see like maybe 1, 2, 3, almost 4, because the colors are so varying, but I'm definitely seeing 1 and 2 of these threads that exist, right? That's just like a continuation of this energy. But I feel like once you kind of get away from them and you're able to access all of these beautiful colors of this rainbow up here, and that's when the remainder of the web really comes in. I feel as if you're, like, the people who are surrounding you, or maybe even just your environment, this could be a work situation as well, like, you know, like your job isn't, like you might be stuck in a job where there is no room for like upward movement or any mobility within that company, and unfortunately it doesn't pay you enough for you to like ever get an apartment or move out of a family member's house. And if you can't move out of a family member's house, then how can you find a partner, you know? And if you can't find a partner, how can you have children? So it does feel like this almost snowball effect of you recognizing like, wow, like it's all interconnected. Like the reason that I am unhappy in my current situation is all interconnected. It's all being caused by this situation, and I'm ready to change because I'm different. I'm so different. I can't keep mirroring this. This kind of gives me the sense of like how dysfunction breeds dysfunction, and the only way to end dysfunction is to bring in like structure and routine and stability, and like coping mechanisms. So rather than, you know, breeding dysfunction in this situation and falling into the pit of it, I see you like, if we're going to take a work example, right? Let's say that you work for a company that doesn't pay you enough to afford your own bills, let alone bills for you and a partner and children. You know, you would never be able to afford that. I see you starting, you know, to put in applications, to manage your time so that way you can do interviews. Maybe even look outside of your state or outside of your immediate area so you can find something that would be like more budget friendly for you. You're looking at, you know, higher wages or higher salaries. You might even consider like going to school. It's that kind of structure where you are actively going towards structure to fight off the dysfunction. And with that movement, right? Because once you get educated or once you get a new job, you're no longer going to be fighting these same battles. And that mirror is shattered because you're no longer playing dysfunction off of a dysfunction. Let's go ahead and get into the tarot. Alrighty, I wanted to use this deck for this reading today, so let's get into it. Wow, that was quick. Yeah, we have my Two of Pentacles in reverse. You feel like you're stuck, like you can't juggle things anymore. You might be overwhelmed, overstimulated. You might feel like you don't have really a choice. There's just too much. This is almost giving me 10 of Wands energy, like a burden on your back. Yeah, you're recognizing that like this just doesn't work for you, and that's okay. We have the Tower. Yeah, things might be falling apart in your situation. Or at least maybe you want it to fall apart. Because the Tower upright, it's almost like you've built on a foundation, but the supplies were not stable. So that's why the building falls apart. But when we have it in reverse, you know, it's more like the foundation is unstable, and even like the smallest, it's kind of like the Leaning Tower of Pisa is what I'm seeing. So it's like the smallest thing will kind of, you know, tear the building apart, like the smallest gust of wind. Oh, I'm seeing, there's a lot about children's stories here, because I was talking about Peter Pan syndrome, and now I'm thinking about, the Three Little Pigs with a wolf, where it's like, all he has to do is blow their house down with a breath. And yeah, so I do feel as if maybe your foundation wasn't very stable, and I see you recognizing that, and I see you taking active change because you're burnt out. You're exhausted. You've been juggling things for too long. You've been putting all your effort in, and it's not being appreciated. You know? You might even be being taken advantage of. Can I get some more, please, Spirit? What else is going on in my Thread Collective's energy? Yeah, we have the Magician. I see you using all of your resources to bypass this issue, to rebuild. Oh, there's a real beauty here. What else? 3 more, please, Spirit. There's 1. We have Strength coming out. So yeah, ego has been playing a big part in this. I'm hearing ego and pride, because it's not like it's arrogance. It's almost like maybe you were taking care of other people, or maybe you just couldn't admit that this situation wasn't working for you, you know, that it was just too much of a struggle. Maybe you struggled to ask for help. I see that you've been incredibly strong. This has been exhausting you for quite a while, especially coming up under my Two of Pentacles, that overwhelmed energy. Like, this is giving me, like, you've been carrying a burden that's not yours for too long. Oop. Yeah, my 10 of Wands. Didn't I say that? Did I say that? Oh my goodness. Because that was giving me this Two of Wands energy. Yeah, I see you dropping this burden. And I'm seeing someone, like, drop, like, a sack of rocks. And it shakes everything around them. It's actually quite crazy what I'm seeing. Because it's such a heavy weight. I'm also seeing Rock Lee from Naruto when he drops the weights off his ankles to fight, I think, Gaara. I think it was Gaara. But yeah, I'm seeing that, where it's like he drops this massive weight off of him, and with the weight being gone, he achieves such speed, such power, such stamina. Like, it's insane, you know? There's that Strength card again. Yeah, it's like without this burden on your shoulders, you are so much stronger. This kind of is giving me the sense of, like, this is going to be so funny, but like when a girl breaks up with a guy who is obviously like abusing her, or like is incredibly toxic, and then they say like, there's a comedy act about this. There's a comedian who's like, oh, y'all ever notice how when you break up with a girl, the next day she's got like 10 degrees, and you know, she's like in the Philippines, like having the time of her life on vacation. Like, damn, like, why couldn't we have done that together? And it's kind of this energy of like, this person or this situation burdened you to the point where it depleted you of all of your energy. And I think upon dropping it, that's when you'll be released. It's like literally like a weight off of your back. Can I just have one more? Oh my goodness. Yeah, we have the Hermit. I see you spending some time in isolation. I think that you have been spending time in isolation. I think that you've been thinking about this situation for a while. Maybe you've been isolated by a masculine, with my King of Cups here. Someone who has put you through hard times, who has intentionally isolated you, who's neglected you. They've made your environment a living hell. Because my King of Cups is a very strong masculine energy, but upright, it usually appears to be like a soulmate or a lover. But with the remainder of the cards behind it, this feels like a false masculine, even though it's upright. I cannot for the life of me. Maybe you see them. Maybe you give them more potential than they have. Like, you see them as being a lot kinder, a lot more loving than they actually are. I'm like this sometimes. I do that. I love to be delusional and give people the biggest benefit of the doubt. And be like, oh, he's not that bad. And meanwhile, like, he's actively committing war crimes against me on, like, a daily basis. Like, he's actively, like, destroying me. And I'm just like, well, you know, he's not a bad guy. That's something that I say all the time, is they're not a bad person. They just have their issues. And that's kind of the energy that I'm picking up on here. Is like, I feel like you've been defending this person and taking care of them on top of that with my Five of Pentacles, with my Five of Swords. My Five of Pentacles is often about, like, misery, misfortune, suffering. My Five of Swords, that highlights reflection, but it also highlights isolation. In a different deck that I have, it's this cute little fairy who's, like, on a rock in the middle of the ocean, and she's just staring off. And it's almost like, you know, she's, like, emotionally, mentally chained to this rock, and she's not able to just fly away off of it, despite the fact that the waters are, you know, roaring, and they're getting higher, and they're just about to drag her under. I have my Ace of Cups behind that. Like, you might not recognize that there's no real love in this situation. Again, this could be with work, this could be with family. This could be like a soulless corporate boss, you know, who's always like, you need to put work over, you know, your personal life, and so you have no work-life balance. I feel like there's no passion in this situation either. I feel like you've been depleted, like your happiness has been stolen from you. With my Ace of Wands, this heavily highlights misery in an environment, but I actually quite like the fact that it's being tag teamed with the Magician, because the Magician is all about utilizing the resources that we have available to our benefit. It's heavily about alchemy or transmuting. So I do see that, you know, this Ace of Wands, all of this misery, all of this unhappiness that's being projected onto you by this King of Cups, I feel like this is it's a choice to stay. And I feel like that's kind of, yep, we got my Two of Wands here. This is a crossroads. You are at a crossroads in this situation. Do I stay or do I go? It's causing you a bunch of mental conflict, a bunch of mental chaos with my Five of Wands. In a different deck that I have, it shows one guy who is fighting 4 different guys, but the different guys all look exactly like him. It's that mirror effect coming out. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe you're just so different than than the people around you. You're just so different. You're so unique. And I think that they intentionally try to harm you. I see a secret coming out in this situation. It's going to hurt you and it's going to hurt someone else, but it's going to lead to some serious... Oh, you might have been betrayed financially with my Three of Swords, my King of Pentacles. Maybe this is a work situation. I see you in isolation at this time, though, thinking about this burden. I don't see you really prepared to let it go, to let it drop yet. You might even be thinking like that there's no hope. There's no hope for your future here, that there's no new beginning that you can just leap into. This kind of reminds me of a situation that I went through where I was living with family, and I was scared to leave because I didn't really have that much money, and the money that I did have went towards like my like the very minimal day-to-day living that I had. Like I was actively starving myself. I couldn't even afford conditioner most times. And the biggest thing that I was scared of leaving is I was like, I don't know what I will do with my cats. Like I don't, you know, pet rent is expensive, and I already don't have money to afford even conditioner, let alone an apartment and pet rent, etc., etc. But I did find a way out of it, and I was very grateful too. So with this page, with this Fool being in reverse, the Knight of Swords behind it, and my Knight of Swords, that's that type A, that analytical energy, that planning, strategizing. With this being in reverse, I see you being scared, fearful, that you can't move on, that you're stuck. This is giving me a sense of being trapped. You feel trapped. And I feel like you feel trapped by circumstances that are falling apart around you, because they were never stable to begin with. They were never structured. It was like it was built on dysfunction. And so it could only breed dysfunction upward until it all collapses and falls apart. Then we have my Nine of Pentacles here. And my Temperance card in reverse with my Queen of Swords. Yeah, I kind of see you standing up for yourself in this situation. With my Temperance and my Queen of Swords in combination, I'm very much getting like enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. You are done. You're done with the fights. You're done with the isolation. You're done with the wishing, wanting, yearning. You're done having the wool pulled over your eyes. You're done being told that you're wrong, or you know, that you're the issue in the situation. I see you being fucking absolutely done. Sorry, excuse my language. I see you being done, and I see that this brings you like a moment of catharsis. Or because my Nine of Pentacles is all about like harmony, peace. It can also highlight like, this is my secondary victory card from because my Six of Wands is my victory card, but I always consider my Nine of Pentacles to be my secondary victory card, because it gives like bubble bath energy. This is like relaxation, peace, rejuvenation. So I do see you, like, I see you finding the calm in the storm and finding a way through it, pushing your way through it, even though it seems absolutely hopeless right now. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get into the advice and the charms. Alrighty, I want to kick this off with a song from my channeled message deck. Let's just grab one here, please, Spirit. Oh, we have Hell's Coming With Me by Poor Man's Poison. It's about vengeance and rage. I actually love this song. But yeah, I see, maybe that's the thread here. Maybe you get away from this situation, and as you go through like a healing phase or a healing process, maybe that's where you're at right now, is where you're angry. You're just so sick of it. You're so sick of it all. I've been there before, where like, it is that one little thread. It is that one tiny little thing that just triggers you and sends you off a cliff, dude. And you just absolutely lose it, and there's just no coming back after that. There is no return. So I see Hell's Coming With Me by Poor Man's Poison. I'll be back when you least expect it. Come back to burn that town to the ground. You know, they begged him, please. They begged him, please, sir, don't burn it down to the ground. Yep, on the back of the deck, I have, oop, I don't know why I did that. I'm going to keep that. On the back of the deck, I have Black Sheep by Metric. You feel misunderstood. Maybe you feel outcasted. On the back of this, it says, Black sheep come home, send you my love on a wire. Everyone pulls away from you. Alrighty. I want to quickly get a angel number. Yeah, we have Ego and Taurus coming out all over again. That I can't even make that up. That's so funny. It wasn't that. I shuffled it, didn't I? I'm so good at taking care of my decks, I shuffled them on accident. We had the Strength card come out, and the Strength card had that big bull on it. And so it was very much giving me heavy Taurus energy, even though typically Strength doesn't give me Taurus energy. Maybe it's ruled by Taurus, and I'm just ridiculous. I don't know. Alrighty, we also have 1111. Okay, 1111 is coming up for your angel number. Oh yeah, there are big changes on the horizon. Oh yes, there are. Oh, and look, I flipped this deck, and we have the World card showing up on the back. Look at that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. The World. Yeah, the World is your oyster, babe. I feel like you might feel trapped right now. But that cage, it's going to have to open eventually. And once you get out of it, you'll realize that there was a whole big, beautiful world out there for you to explore. You don't have to stay trapped, babes. It's okay. You'll get there. And you don't have to, you know, make any changes right this second. I see that things are going to be changing for you just naturally as they are. All right, and I feel like this was a good experience for you, because now you know how to build back stronger, because you were the strength in this entire situation, right? Your energy is what kept this situation going. It's what kept it alive. And I feel like once you pull out of this situation, once you pull your energy out of it, once this little thread gets yanked out, I feel like the whole web falls. Everybody who's been sitting on your web, all the burdens that have been laid on your web, they're all going to fall off. Oh, it might just be a matter of time. Just a matter of time, dear sweetheart. I want to be so gentle and soft with your energy. Mostly because it feels like you're in a state of... It's almost like a disassociated calm. So it's not like a true calm. It's like a trauma calm. Where like you've just witnessed something so horrific that you're just kind of like paralyzed. It gives a sense of like PTSD. Maybe that's where this vengeance is. Maybe there's a level of grief in this situation as well. maybe you had dreams for this situation that didn't pan out correctly, and there's a lot of grief for what the dream could have been. Like for me personally, you know, my whole life I really wanted a family. I wanted a safe home. Then I moved back home in like my mid to late 20s, and it took me like 3 years to recognize that like the safe family that I wanted was never going to happen. It was never going to come true because the people that I was related to were inconsiderate, you know, and they weren't going to change. I was the only person who had grown past that inconsiderate nature. And so, yeah, there was like a lot of grief that was involved with that I had to move past until I recognized that, like, you know, I deserve to make my own family, to have my own children and raise them and show them that, yeah, stability is a possibility. Considerate people do exist, actually. And I know that because I will raise them myself. All right, let's get some more zodiac signs. So we did have Taurus, so that's that earth sign energy that we saw in the beginning. We also had earth sign energy with the spider. So that was going to be Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. What other signs are involved here, please, Spirit? We have the wolf totem. Beware of letting your wilder instincts spin out of control. Actually, this is kind of funny. Maybe you're being pushed into like a lot of rage. Maybe like, you know, it's like the camel that broke the straw's back. I'm sorry, the straw that broke the camel's back. My bad. Maybe you're so angry you can't even think straight. You're mixing things up. Yeah. Oh yeah, narcissists will do that to you too. Like when you are like arguing with a narcissist, they'll spin you in a tizzy so that you can't think straight at all, and then they'll use any like mix-ups against you. But my dad told me something about this that my grandmother had said to him when we were young. Because when we were young and he first like got divorced from my mother, and he moved into my grandmother's house, and he was like yelling at us all the time, partly because he's deaf and he can't hear himself, right? So he thinks he's like speaking at a normal volume, and then when he gets frustrated, he like yells even louder. So it was like all this, he was just constantly so loud. My grandmother hated it. My grandmother's not a very loud person, right? He was telling me, because I was really pissed off at my brother once, and he was telling me, you know, you have to stop giving it all this energy because it's not doing anything. It's not fixing anything. Just yelling about this isn't fixing anything. If you want it to stop, then you have to work to fix it, and you have to use the energy that you would use yelling in order to fix it. And he had told me this story as a way to like get me to stop like yelling about the issues in our household when I lived with him. But and at that time, it really pissed me off. Oh my God, I was like, I have every right to scream. In fact, I have stayed quiet for months now and begged you for help, and you did not help me. So now I feel like I have to scream. You know, I've been pushed into this, and I feel like this is kind of where your energy is. But is this who you are? Or is this just like the triggered state of your being? Because once I was in that position and once I realized like, okay, this is actually not me, and in fact, like my emotional regulation is regressing the longer I stay in this situation, that kind of gave me motivation to get the fuck out of my situation, to just run. I'm hearing, oh, what is that song? It's like, run, boy, run. I can't remember. But yeah, it is giving that. Oh, and then this just fell out of my deck here. I have Ascension coming out, Spiritual Path and Awakening. Yeah, I feel like you need to wake up to the fact that like this is not actually your energy that you are eating up, that you are like spitting out, right? It's someone else's, someone who's like hurting you, who's taking advantage of you. That false masculine, I think. Again, it could be like a work situation or a friend situation, or it could be a group of people. Ooh, I have my Sagittarius coming out, so Sagittarius might be involved. Maybe the issues started during Sagittarius season. That would be like late November to like mid to late December. Yeah, and then I also have Moon in Pisces on the back of the deck. Maybe Moon in Pisces, maybe Pisces season is when like everything comes to an end for you. Or maybe when that tower collapses. I do see change coming very quickly in this situation. I see you ascending, moving on. Like, it's almost like you're gonna have a moment. Yeah, it's like, I'm seeing Rock Lee again. It's like you're gonna have a moment where you get the thumbs up to let the chains off, to let all the weight go, to drop the burden, and you do. And with your speed and your stamina and your strength, you just zoom. You can take down any opponent. even someone who before thought, like everyone thought was impossible to beat or even touch. It was something that Rock Lee did. I think Rock Lee made Gara bleed, and Gara had never bled before in his life. Like, he had never experienced, like, physical pain because he'd been protected by, like, a sand guard all his life. And Rock Lee, with his, like, weights off, caused him to bleed with, like, the power and strength of his hits. Yeah, I feel like maybe you'll be able to, and I'm not suggesting that you should commit violence against anyone else. Please do not. Please do not. I'm not at all suggesting that. I am suggesting that, like, your energy is better used somewhere else. Like, your power, your strength is going to be better used outside of, you know, this angry situation. Yeah, you know, for me, one of my biggest triggers is food. Because I struggled with food instability for the longest time, and I have a younger sibling who will constantly eat my food, and it's like an instant trigger. I will regress in a heartbeat because of it. I will scream for 4 straight hours. I really don't care because, and I've made it a point so many times before that, like, food is my biggest trigger. Having my food stolen out of my mouth is my biggest trigger. It is just thinking about it pushes me to this rage energy where, like, I want to scream at you guys, but I'm not gonna. But yeah, like, you know, that's something that I need to work on, but I can't work on it while, you know, food is constantly, while I'm starving. I can't work on it while I'm starving. We have aromatherapy coming out, so that might be something that you need, or that might assist you when you are feeling this anger. We also have family. Family might be the issue here, though. Maybe you need to seek support. Yeah, I don't know. My dad is really, really sweet, though, because I'll be real pissed off at my brother. My dad will just come in and he'll be like, I get it. Your brother's a fucking dumbass. I totally understand. Like, I can't stand him either. I don't know how he ended up like this. And he'll give me, like, a nice hug. So maybe there are parts of your family that, like, are really supportive of you and caring of you, and they recognize what you're going through. And then there are other parts, or even, like, other people who just drive you insane. Or if this is like a partner or a job, it could be like certain parts of it are like loving and supportive, and you're so passionate about it, and it really re-invokes the passion that you have for it. But then other parts are like, oh my god, I can't wait to get out of this situation. Like, you go in your car and you just scream into a pillow because, you know, the work shift was so bad, or, you know, you have to go to a friend and vent for a couple hours because your partner was just being so mean or so cruel or so ridiculous. Oh my gosh, I had a partner who was absolutely ridiculous. It pushed me to my absolute wit's ends all the time. Oh my gosh, like, I remember one time my partner, like, came home and pissed on our living room floor, and I, like, screamed at him about it because, like, how can you act like that? And he was like, it's not a big deal, you can clean it up. And I was like, no, I'm not cleaning up the piss on the floor. What is wrong with you? And that was kind of like one of my real big breaking moments where I was just like, oh my god, like, we are so different. I am so different from you, because I would, even blackout drunk, I could never justify that, let alone justify trying to push that responsibility onto somebody else. That would be insane. And also, not to be rude, but I'm just not fucking filthy like that. I have, like, severe OCD in a clean way, so I just could never live like that. I could never ever do that. We have stromatolite. Stromatolite? This ancient stone reaches deep down and activates your root chakra. Stromatolite is one of Earth's oldest stones and uses the power to fulfill your goals. Used with daily meditation, it helps you reach back and connect with Mother Earth. Oh, maybe you need to go for a walk. Maybe when you're angry, you leave, you go for a walk. Maybe that's what it is. The other crystal card that I have is Grosular on the back. This stone is in the garnet family. It can re-energize chakras and then bring balance to those energies. It radiates a calming energy that is very useful in times of great stress. Hold over your heart or wear as jewelry, making contact with the skin. Very, very beautiful. You can use this as a protective amulet as well, if you use it as a necklace. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get into some charms here. And I think that's where we'll end the reading. So this is my charm jar. It does get a little bit loud. So if you are noise sensitive, now's a good time to turn down the volume. I just dropped them back in. Ugh. Okay, that came out with my thumb. We have a modest man. A modest man never talks to himself. Lucky number 1, 20, 32, 18, 56, and 30. And I feel like this is less in the sense of like talking to yourself, and more in the sense of like talking to a brick wall. Like if you're constantly bringing up issues with someone and they don't have the capacity to understand your needs or change or adapt to assist you, you need to leave them, because they will, like, that is a brick wall that you are talking to. And you should never talk to a brick wall. A brick wall is not going to solve your issues. You just kind of have to walk away from the brick wall and find someone rational to speak with. Maybe that's a therapist. Okay. All right, it looks like I have the letter Q coming out. All I can think of is Quinn or Queenie. I'm also hearing quicksand for some weird reason. Maybe you feel like you're in quicksand. Maybe you feel like conflict in this situation is like quicksand. Sorry, let me zoom on in here so it stops zooming out. We have brown hair being highlighted. You or someone else might have brown hair in this situation. I have books being highlighted. Maybe you need to read. Or honestly, what is that popular TikTok trend? It's like you grab a book and you go to like page 32 in the book, and whatever the first sentence says is like some advice for you or something. I don't know. Maybe try that out and let me know in the comments how that works. I have my 2 of Wands in reverse. Wow, I'm not sure why this is suddenly not focusing. I have my 2 of Wands in reverse here. So yeah, you feel like you're at the end of your rope. You feel like you don't really have a choice in this situation, but you are stuck at a crossroads. You need to choose whether to go right or left. I just don't think that you really see all the options available to you. Now we do have my Moon card coming out in reverse as well, so I see some secrets coming out in this situation. This might be in regards to finances. I was picking that up on that earlier. Some secrets in regards to finances. Oh, okay, I know you guys can't really see this, but I'm going to try to zoom in. My charm jar right here, it says new beginning. New beginning. So I do see a new beginning on the horizon for you. That's just extra confirmation. And space. I see you taking space away from this situation. You might be getting your own space, like getting your own apartment or your own housing, like taking space away from this situation. I do have a baby boy being highlighted here. Or maybe maybe it's just like a man-child as well. Because I'm also seeing, this is so funny, I'm seeing that teddy bear from that one movie about like the talking teddy bear, but it's like the teddy bear that like drinks and cusses. I don't remember the name of it. It's like Teddy or something. Yeah. I have a oh yeah, and wasn't that teddy bear like a wish come true for that boy? Because he was like a young boy when he wished for him on a star, and he got like a talking teddy bear, and then they grew up together. So it does kind of feel like a wish come true. But also maybe like there's a man-child involved in the situation, or there could be a baby boy involved in the situation. Maybe you're pregnant with a boy. I have my snake ring coming out. This highlights karmic bonds. And now if you really notice with this snake ring, they're actually just all one piece. Like it all leads into each other. These lines, they're not like separate by any means. So it does give that thread energy. I believe this is for Judaism, but I can't really remember correctly. I'm not super educated on other religions, so let me know down in the comments whether or not I'm wrong on that. But yes, religion might be involved in this situation. I have my bell here. So this can highlight a new beginning. This can highlight a marriage or engagement. In this situation, I am kind of picking up, it's almost like an alarm in this situation. Or like you're being alerted to some secrets. Maybe in regards to a baby boy. Interesting. Then I have my seahorse, last of all. There might be a connection to Yamaya or the water goddess within this pile. You might be Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces with this coming out. I'm also getting the sense that there is a need to ground yourself before you let the trumpets loose in this situation. Alrighty, that's what I'm seeing for you guys today. Thank you so much for joining me. Let me know down in the comments how this resonated with you. Also, be sure to comment down below what your angel number means. I love seeing all the different messages. We had 1111 come out for your angel number. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!